But let us begin with the New Hampshire primary, the race for the Republican nomination. CBS News projects that former President Donald Trump did indeed beat former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley 55% to 43%. Speaking to voters last night, though, Haley remained optimistic about her chances going forward. Take a listen.
New Hampshire is first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation. This race is far from over. There are dozens of states left to go.
For a look at what's next, Terry Sullivan joins us now. He's a communications strategist, and he managed Republican Senator Marco Rubio's 2016 presidential campaign. Terry, always good to see you.
Good to be here.
Nikki Haley, she's going to stay in the race, she says. There's going to be a lot of pressure for her to drop out. What would you say as a strategist?
Well, I'd say, first of all, you always say you're staying in the race till the bitter end until the moment you say I'm out. So that doesn't mean anything. You got to keep your game face on. And so that's what she's going to say. Well, look, the race is over. Like, the nomination fight is over for both sides.
How can you say that?
This bugs me, Terry.
Because
what is going on, Terry?
Terry, we've only had two states.
That's true.
Two of the whitest states in the country.
Right.
This is a whole big country. We are so diverse. There are so many different people. And two smaller states, too. I think the count was 170,000 people so far voted.
100%.
How can you call it so, yeah, for Trump. How can you call it so early right now?
Well, first of all, you're right. Our nominating process for both parties stinks.
Okay.
Okay? But this is the rules of the game that we've got. And no one has won Iowa and New Hampshire and then gone on to lose. It's just historically it does not happen, other than Biden, who did win South Carolina. But the problem for her is that in New Hampshire, she only won 25% of Republicans, of people who, it was all the independents that boosted her up. Yeah. In South Carolina and in most of these states, you can only vote if you're of that party. So she's going to get demolished if she sticks around till South Carolina.
So if she hadn't gotten it,
we don't know.
Yeah,
we got 30 days.
Okay,
she's going to go down there and campaign.
Well, let me ask you this.
We don't like what you're saying,
They
Terry
know her.
Sullivan.
They know her already.
We got people at home who have not voted. Most people have not voted. They have not had their say.
That's what bothers me. Let the people vote.
For sure. When it comes to the Trump attacks, some would say that she is more defensive than being on the offensive.
Right.
And some say that the results might have changed if she would have taken a more aggressive approach, taking those legal troubles from Trump and using those, leaning into those to talk to the voters. Do you think if she does that moving forward, that could change the perception of the voters?
Yeah. But you know what, Nate? Chris Christie did it, and it didn't work for him.
But Chris Christie's the most unlikable politician in America. You know, I mean, he's like a poor man's Donald Trump. He's a bully without the sense of humor. And so, like, look, there was no message to it. It was just angry.
But I don't want to call it dirty politics. Let's just say Nikki Haley chooses to vilify and use that.
No, you should. But I was on here a year ago saying that's what these guys had to do, guys and gals had to do, a year ago, 6 months ago. And
it's what Trump does.
Right. Think about this. Yeah. This is what he did from the second any of them got in the race. He started to define them. And everybody danced around and said, oh, I'm not going to say something bad. I'm going to focus on the future. It didn't work.
Should she change her approach then?
Well, it's too late.
It's too late.
I think it's too late because then it becomes desperate. It looks desperate now.
This is so risky for Republicans, right? Donald Trump is a defeated former president. He might lose in the fall. Even if he wins, he doesn't have a great track record of bringing Congress along with him and getting things done. People are making emotional choices here, not strategic ones.
Well, that's welcome to politics.
Okay.
I mean, welcome to politics in 2024, especially. Of course, it's an emotional vote, but in every swing state poll, except for I think there's a new one this morning, Trump is beating Biden in a head-to-head. In every one of the swing states, and not by like a small, like outside the margin of error. Yeah. And so that's sure.
That should be troubling to the Democratic Party.
I mean, this is a binary choice between two people, and that's the reality of it.
But I always find it frustrating that the race is called so early, whether it's for Donald Trump or not for Donald Trump. I just want people to have the opportunity to vote and think that your vote still makes a difference. And we're calling it now.
Last thing quickly, what does Biden do?
We're not.
If you're telling us that information right now, what does Biden do moving forward?
Look, he's got to focus on the general election. This is now a general election campaign. And America's going to have a choice, and they've got, quite a few months to figure this thing out between those two candidates. And if you're happy with the way Joe Biden has done things, you're going to vote for him. If you're unhappy, you're going to vote for Trump. And
longest general election we've ever had.
Yep.
So you think Nikki Haley should drop out?
Yeah, I mean, But, like, she's going to run out of money. Okay. She's going to run. Her donors are going to stop giving her money, and that's people only stop running for president for one reason and one. They don't. It's not that they think they're no longer smart enough or qualified. It's they run out of money.
Well, she says she's not going to. We'll see. But you're right. Everybody says I'm not going to, and then the next hour it's. They
also say they're not going to be vice president. They're not interested until they're picked.
Yes.
Oh, you've been watching the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terry Sullivan.
Questions.
Always good to have you.